What is going on, everybody? It's time for your total nonstop deletion review, courtesy of the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast, the only podcast that is always, and I mean, and he means, and she means always an instant classic. Obviously, we're talking about total nonstop deletion. I'm excited. It was definitely an interesting show that I enjoyed. It was definitely an interesting show that I really enjoyed. I thought it was a like I was curious to see how they're going to pull this off, going into it. And I think it exceeded my expectations to a certain degree, as usually the Matt Hardy stuff does. But overall, I enjoyed the show. I just thought definitely a unique spin on the TNA show. I I don't know if you caught this, but this is how I took it. When they had like the 15 people in the crowd, I think they were like making fun of how like people talk about how TNA can't draw a crowd. To be honest, with the 15 people in the crowd or whatever, I just thought that was pretty funny. Um, but yeah, Casey, any overall thoughts on total nonstop deletion before we jump into the specifics of it?
So you're not gonna sing the intro for our fans?
Oh, I already know it. Well, it's gonna be hard because the issue is there's talking and music. I already know it. What? Welcome to the Instant Classic. Like it's gonna be hard to do. It's a difficult thing because I need somebody to sing the rest of it, and we say the words. He's fat.
Um, this I'm gonna say it. This may have been the greatest show of the year in any promotion ever, and I think that Amy needs to embrace the beauty and brilliance because
I was gonna say like this would be that one time Amy gets to watch TNA because she's at home on a Thursday, right? This would be that one time and she happens to see this episode.
it was so good. The only thing I didn't like, or not that I didn't like it, it just was weird to me, was like the weird editing and like camera cuts, because the camera cuts just felt weird, like awkward timing, and I don't know, and I think it was meant to be like that, but it was just weird to me.
Yeah, I agree that there were some weird kind of camera cuts, but we started off with the intro to the show, which was Rebby playing the piano, Matt Hardy coming in on the dilapidated boat. What else was in this intro? There was a lot going on. I think Itchweed was, or was it Jeff Hardy at this time? It was Jeff Hardy at this time. Was weed eating the grass into a Hardy symbol. There was a lot going on, but it was epic. It was amazing. It was a great intro. Greatest intro of all time. Um, I definitely enjoyed it though. I was excited from like the very first part of the intro, about this. So, thoughts on the intro?
Uh, it was good. It was definitely got you excited for total nonstop deletion. Yeah, you kind of said everything about it, so you stole my thunder.
Oh, also, freaking, we had the news segment, the very first one that we had with Betty Sue with the volcano in the background. Um, and then she was like, "Let's catch up with someone from Cameron," and it was Itchweed, of course. I was curious to see who the other guy was. Actually, I thought it was going to be Joseph Park. I don't I don't know if you thought that because he was a bigger dude, so I was expecting it to be Joseph Park, just kind of out there like and he's gonna be like how excited he was for the Tag Team Apocalypto or whatever. Have you seen my brother? Like I was just expecting him to do something like that. But we got Itchweed and Itchweed's hilarious. And it was just funny. It was just funny to watch Itchweed kind of react and with the freaking weed eater and everything. But any thoughts on I guess the first newscast segment. There was a couple other newscast segments, um, and they were all pretty funny. I like how they always add some sort of subtle nuance, and that was kind of what was different about this one was the newscast portion of it. And I like how that was kind of the transition from thing to thing in this show. I like that. But thoughts on the kind of newscast little segment we had to start the show?
I loved all the newscaster segments. They were it brought something new into it, and it kind of in a way made it feel like it was real. Obviously it wasn't, but they played it off as it was a real newscast, and the Apocalypto is really happening, and if they lose, Cameron's just going to be destroyed, and all the state of North Carolina has shut down Cameron, North Carolina. It was good. I definitely liked it.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed watching the newscast segments. Then we go to the first time we are in the Dome of Deletion. We have Matt Hardy coming out with Senior Benjamin and Brother Nero. I think that was it at this point. Yeah, that was it at this point. And basically, it opens the show and talking about how great Total Nonstop Deletion is and how it's excited to be back home and everything. Rockstar Spud, who comes out there and kind of just looking around like, where the heck am I? And he's mad because he's like, he's Maxwell's taking all his thunder and he can't have that. So he ends up challenging Maxwell to his first match. And Maxwell comes out in the freaking remote control PT Cruiser or whatever. That was freaking hilarious. I was like, I love this kid. With Reby, I think she might have been driving it. I couldn't tell, but I think she might have been driving it. So that was pretty funny. The cuts in this one were kind of weird too, but I understand why they had to do them. With Maxwell, but it was hilarious though. Just kind of like it's weird to talk about psychology with a baby and Rockstar Spud, but it was weird. It was like there was an interesting psychology with this match, like the way they kind of portrayed this match with Senior Benjamin coming out and freaking tasing Spud, and then Maxwell getting the getting the pin. What was really hilarious though was Maxwell doing the freaking delete chants with the crowd. I don't know how they caught him doing that at the same time the crowd was. That was pretty funny. That was pretty cute. But Casey, thoughts on King Maxwell's debut?
I like the opening promo. I love Rockstar Spud coming out and saying that Maxwell is taking his thunder and all of his TV time. And then we get the in-ring debut of King Maxel. This might have been this. I'm gonna let you know on my year-ending Slammies. This might be match of the year for me. I loved it.
Did you catch Disco Inferno at the end?
I did. I
was like, I was laughing and marking out at the same time.
Oh, that was so good. But I loved Senior Benjamin tasing Spud, and then I don't know if you caught this, but while Maxwell is pinning Rockstar Spud, Spud is actually holding him on top of him. I thought that was funny. But yeah, Disco Inferno looking through the curtain going, wow, I'm glad that's not me this time. I was like, oh, it was so good.
Was that who he pinned the first time?
I'm gonna have to look
because I couldn't tell who it was on that video, so I wasn't sure.
It might have been. I'm gonna have to look back.
That was pretty funny though. I was so excited to see Disco Inferno. I'm surprised because I haven't seen Disco Inferno in a while, so I'm surprised I actually knew who he was. Like, I know his voice from Vince Russo's podcast, but like, I was surprised I actually knew who he was as far as like his face because I hadn't seen him in so long. But that was freaking hilarious. But next we go back to the newscast, and Betty Sue, I can't remember her last name, Fuentes or whatever her last name was. Betty Sue was back there with with the roads. They were closed. And Gregory Helms was coming through, and Gregory Helms was he was taking the Helms dynasty to join the Apocalypto. So it was happening. It was happening. But that was pretty funny. I enjoyed that segment with Gregory Helms. And I also enjoyed next with the Rock and Roll Express. I marked out so hard for the Rock and Roll Express. I don't know what it was. I think it's because I've seen the Rock and Roll Express so much recently with the wrestling shows I've been to. They always seem to be at the wrestling shows I go to. That was pretty funny. I actually saw Ricky Morton at that wrestling show I commentated, so that was pretty cool. So it's just cool to see them back on TV again, kind of in the limelight, I guess you could say. It was pretty cool though, because I didn't expect them to be there, but it was definitely cool to see them. Thoughts on the Rock and Roll Express and the Gregory Helms segment we had?
I like the Gregory Helms segment, the Helms Dynasty. The only problem I had was, why don't they get to ride in the SUV? They just hanging on the back, like that's not cool. That at least let them ride in there. Like, come on now. But I like, and you heard references like this throughout the show, but I like the subtle references to like old gimmicks and things, because he says stand back, I'm coming through, and I was like, yeah, we're gonna see Hurricane tonight. I like that. I love the Rock and Roll Express. Can I get you any meats or cheeses or green beans? It was so good.
Yeah, there were a lot of those references out there. I didn't catch them all because I didn't get a chance to really write them down. But they were the ones. I mean, I'm sure I think you probably documented them, but they were freaking hilarious. All the little, just subtle, the little like subtle, kind of I guess shots or whatever. It was pretty funny. But next we had Sienna. She was in the ring. Declaring that she was the number one contender since Rosemary wasn't there because Rosemary's banned from Cameron or from the Hardy estate because she tried to abduct Maxwell, which was funny. And I enjoyed Sienna calling out calling out anyone who wanted to be number one contender, and Vanguard 1 comes out there and tries to challenge her. I love the little Vanguard 1 caption segments too. With Vanguard 1 when he's like talking and like they got the little closed caption under it. They had me cracking up with the like this is BS app. And I was like this man's so hip right now. Like had me freaking had me cracking up with those. But the referee threw Vanguard 1 out, and eventually Sienna would be challenged by none other than ODB, which was pretty cool. No, I was not expecting her to be out there, but I thought that was pretty cool to see ODB. Come back, even if it was for just one night. It was still really cool to see ODB. I love ODB. I enjoyed the match. I thought the match was good. I definitely enjoyed it. It was just so cool to see ODB back, man. I was so excited. But obviously Sienna wins after Vanguard 1 tries to come in and count the pin when the referee got knocked out, which was hilarious too. Sienna ends up getting the win after hitting ODB with a chair. But any thoughts on the ODB Sienna match?
Well, first of all, one thing I don't understand is how come Rosemary is banned from the Hardy compound for trying to kidnap Maxwell,
but the Decay are still
yeah, I was like, they did the same thing. Why? But I definitely liked I was Sienna did confuse me though, because she said she's making herself the #1 contender for the women's championship. I was like, TNA ain't got no women's champion. What are you talking about? A different promotion? Oh, she talking about GFW. Okay, I get it. Okay, but then I actually liked that it was ODB. I was surprised a little bit, but then I'm sure they probably obviously they got people to come in for one show. I don't know how ODB's kind of how she is with TNA. If they're on good terms, because a lot of people aren't on the best terms with TNA that have left TNA. So I didn't know if they were on good terms. But so I was kind of for that aspect, I was surprised to see her. But it was definitely good. I didn't think it was the greatest match, but I don't think it was meant to be. Definitely was fun though. And then cannot believe what ODB did to Vanguard 1 after the. that is a lucky man thing. That definitely was the PG era. I'm just saying it. That would not.
Yeah, I thought that was hilarious though. I thought that was hilarious, the ODB thing. But move on to where am I now? Matt Hardy and the Helms Dynasty backstage. I think there was another reference made here. I can't remember right offhand what it was, but I just love any interaction with the Helms Dynasty and Matt Hardy. It's just hilarious. It's hilarious watching Matt Hardy, especially and Greg Helms, kind of go back and forth about everything. What did he say? He said something about 3 count in this one, which is funny. But I just enjoyed all the interactions between Greg Helms and freaking Matt Hardy. But thoughts on the backstage segment?
I just remember Matt Hardy going, "Oh, what is this? You look terrible." And Gregory Helms looks over at Trevor Lee and he's like, "He always looks like that." It's like, they did. I can't remember what the reference to 3 count was. There's another reference later on that an obvious reference that we see later on. We'll get to that. But I did they make a Young Bucks reference too in this?
I don't know. I didn't hear the Young Bucks reference, but I definitely heard the I think it was a 3 count reference.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what it was, but yeah, that was a good backstage segment. I liked it.
All right, let's move on to Itchweed's in-ring debut. We had Itchweed versus James Sterling. I just enjoyed this match for Itchweed because like with Jeff Hardy's alter egos, you never know what you're gonna get anyway. So it was just interesting to watch him in this match and kind of see how much different he was gonna be than Jeff Hardy. And I liked it. I think Itchweed was even more different than Jeff Hardy than like Willow was, because Willow was kind of like Jeff Hardy in a mask, but Itchweed was like a little bit even more different. But I enjoyed the match. I thought it was funny to see Itchweed with the freaking weed whacker after the match was pretty funny. And whatever he did through that table, like that falling elbow drop thing, he did. That was hilarious too. I enjoyed that. I love Itchweed. It makes you think, is Itchweed gonna be, is Itchweed gonna be kind of, is he gonna come back, or is he like how prevalent is he gonna be, like with TNA and everything, with Jeff Hardy being Jeff Hardy and being broken and everything? I'm always curious about that. But thoughts on Itchweed's in-ring debut? Was it as great as King Maxel?
It wasn't that great. It was close. It was pretty close. I don't know if you caught this, but I think it was Josh Matthews said that the first time we saw Itchweed was at the Halloween special, and I was like, no. We saw him backstage before that. Do you not remember that match? I'm just, I hate when they don't get their facts straight. But just want everyone to know, if you didn't watch this match, Itchweed has a sleeper hold that's so powerful. It puts him to sleep. That was, I laughed so hard at that part. And then Itchweed tried to go full on CZW on Chet with the weed whacker. I was like, no, not this way. I love this match.
Yeah, that sleeper hold freaking had me laughing too. That was freaking hilarious. Oh goodness. God, these Hardys and their characters, man. All right, but anyway, we got the World Heavyweight Championship match. We got Lashley going up against Eddie Edwards. Definitely, I definitely thought this was a good match, and I liked the way it ended with kind of the no contest type thing. I liked that the crowd was involved in it as well. I thought that was pretty cool. It was kind of like the typical Eddie Edwards versus Lashley match, but I like the way they kind of spun the ending to where it kind of protects both of them a little bit and keeps them going in this whole, apocalypto that was about to come to. I just thought I like how they had it kind of not necessarily end with the spear through the door, but like end, but also continue with that point. I like that a lot. I just thought that was freaking. That it was just a good match. I think this was a smart match to put in where it wasn't like a joke match or anything. To a certain degree, to kind of like appease the wrestling fans who take Matt Hardy too seriously, and need wrestling in their lives right now. So I think this was definitely a good way of doing it without, killing off the integrity of Total Nonstop Deletion as an event or anything. But I liked it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good match. I like how they kind of continue to fight throughout the rest of the show. Casey, any thoughts on Lashley versus Eddie Edwards?
I definitely liked the match. I loved Broken Matt's disciples holding Lashley against the guardrail. I like that the kind of the fans got involved in the match that way. I know Rabbit probably didn't like that. He's gonna be like, yeah, that's the only way he could win. Yeah, but then the one thing I liked the door spot, but why you gotta put a fake door or like a boarded up door just for that spot, and then you see the door, the actual door, wide open, and I'm like, what? Why? But why? Really? Like really? I just thought that was weird. But definitely a good match, and I also agree. I like that. It kind of ended in a no contest. Just because, you don't want to make Lashley look weak. Because he is the monster, the animal, whatever. But also, I didn't want to see him win the title back. I didn't want to see, I don't necessarily have a problem with Eddie losing the title at this point. He's had a good run with it, but I don't want to see it go right back to Lashley. Like, I don't want to see it just hot potato back and forth. And it's nothing against Lashley. I want to see somebody else get it. I want to see what somebody else can do with it.
All right, let's jump into the main event of the evening, the Tag Team Apocalypto. I was excited for this match, and I like how they kind of incorporated other tag teams within it throughout it. I like how kind of the people you knew were in it were the people who started the match. I thought that was a good way of doing that. All except for the DCC, which we'd see later. Goodness. But anyway, I like how the Hardys, Rock and Roll Express, and the Decay. Was that it? And the Helms Dynasty started the match. I like how they did that, and they kind of battled to the outside. That was pretty cool. And the explosion that evacuated the building. I like how they just kept fighting in it because the fans can die, but the wrestlers, they're fine. I thought that was pretty funny. But I really enjoyed that. I just there was so many little like nuancy things that I enjoyed about this match, like when the Hardys and the Rock and Roll Express were battling on the little scaffolding things. I thought that was pretty funny. And when they raised Ricky Morton up, and he was like, "Get me down, get me down from here," and then freaking Road Warrior popped up. And he was just laughing at him because obviously they have history, and I thought that was hilarious. I enjoyed that so much. I like how they had the freaking volcano just randomly erupting every once in a while, just to keep that in the back of your mind that there's a volcano going on. I thought that was pretty cool. And then when the Decay were out there at like the Hardy Gate or whatever, that was hilarious too because all these tag teams were standing and waiting to get in, and they just kill all of them pretty much. And then Rockstar Spud's like, "I got the big man tonight." I got the big man as my partner tonight. And then they cut smart move to cut to commercial to like keep the fans guessing on that. But they cut the commercial, and then when they come back, it's freaking Hornswoggle. I was cracking up at that. I didn't expect Hornswoggle to be there, but I was cracking up at that. That was freaking hilarious. Um, Hornswoggle when Rockstar Spud kept patting him on his head. Stop patting me on my head. I'm a grown man. That had me cracking up too. God, this match. There was just so many different things. Freaking Jeff Hardy jumping off the scaffolding and just, just missing because Jeff Hardy, um, when the dilapidated boat saved Matt Hardy, that was hilarious. And then Matt Hardy pushed Gregory Helms into the Lake of Reincarnation. That was pretty funny too. When he came back as the like reincarnated 3 count. I also loved the freaking when the referee was in the porta potty. They were like, "Do your job." Like he was like, "Hey, stop it!" And then he came out, and they were like, "Do your job." I thought that was pretty funny. But I just enjoyed this match just in general. I just thought it was hilarious. Crazy Steve being erupted out of the volcano was interesting. Um, but yeah, I like how they also introduced a new Hardy as well. I thought that was a nice touch there at the end. I would assume it's not kayfabe or is it not like just in the storyline. So that's pretty cool to see Rebby having another baby or whatever. But no one can overtake the king. It's a true statement. No one can overtake the king. Baby Hardy brand. But I just enjoyed it. I just thought it was like I like how they incorporated different things from the final deletion and different things from the contract signing and everything. They always like incorporate it as they try to go bigger and bigger with it. And I always like that with the fireworks and everything and the Hardy symbol and all of that stuff. They always try to incorporate those things, and I always like that, even from the Great War and stuff like that. But I definitely enjoyed it. I was trying not to say too much, so in case he could actually feel like he's saying something. But I got a little carried away. Anyway, Casey, thoughts on the the Tag Team Apocalypto? I'm making up stuff at this point.
Yeah, basically what DJ said, because he said everything. No. I don't know if everybody witnessed what I witnessed, but Crazy Steve killed a guy, like legit. They had him, but like obviously kayfabe. He didn't legitimately kill somebody, but like he cracked his neck, and I'm like, what? I saw that. I was like, oh my god, oh my, is this a wrestling show still? What is this? I was confused at first because it started and then it was like the Hardys versus the Helms Dynasty and Decay just killing random jobbers one by one. I was like, is this going to be the whole thing? Like, what? I swear, I saw it. DJ has to look back again. I swear, one of the jobbers was Jay Lethal. I swear. It looked like him. It sounded like him. It has to be. And I could see it being him, just because he obviously knows the Hardys and everything. So I swear it was him. But I I don't know how you feel about this. Did you think that I like that the DCC was kind of in this? I don't like that they didn't, introduce a new member. But
Yeah.
did you feel like it made them look weak or kind of not taken seriously the way they were sort of eliminated by?
Yeah, I did. The elimination was hilarious with that random guy. What was he trying to like too sweet or something like that? Like he was, God. That'd be like if Justin joined the Instant Classic Wrestling podcast. That's what it would be like, guys. But no, I thought, yeah, a little bit. I was just surprised they didn't do more than that.
Yeah.
Like I think they were more so trying to protect them, so they wouldn't because technically none of the actual members got eliminated. But I also like how they, with the continuity aspect, they kept with we always see more than one mask. Now, albeit those could have just been random people in DCC masks, but still, I like that they kept with that. But as far as your question is concerned, yeah, a little bit. Just because they didn't really get to do anything. Like they still could have had them eliminated in that way. But I think they should have had them do more, especially since they're kind of the big talk faction right now.
Yeah. Also, I popped so hard when we found out Swoggle was Spud's partner. That was great. Then the Helms Dynasty attacking the boat was hilarious. Like DJ said, Helms gets thrown in the Lake of Reincarnation and comes out as his 3-count gimmick, which I loved. I do kind of wish they could have gotten or tried to get Shannon Moore and Evan Courageous. I think that would have been great. But that was definitely still pretty funny. I think it was funnier because clearly Trevor Lee can't dance, can't do it. It was terrible. And Trevor, it wasn't bad. He kind of had the idea what was going on, but no, Trevor, no, bruh. But I think the best part of the whole match was at the end when Hurricane and Matt Hardy.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Even the man with 3 H's would be proud of how he buried this promising young talent. And then they both look at the camera and give a thumbs up.
Yeah, that was hilarious. I forgot all about that. When him turned on them or whatever. God, that was hilarious.
But yeah, it was so good.
Yeah, I forgot all about that. Yeah, that was the funniest part. The man with 3 H's.
Yeah. The only thing I was upset about was obviously I read the reports and everything that the Young Bucks were busy doing something else, so they couldn't be there to do the tapings. But I kind of wish they did have time to do it. They're still doing something with the Hardys, I guess in Ring of Honor. I don't know if Ring of Honor and TNA are going to work together on something, but I know they still are going to do a storyline with them, at least in Ring of Honor, which is cool. But I kind of wish they had time to be in this. That would have been great.
Yeah, I'm still surprised they didn't do any like fakes of people.
Yeah.
Like I'm still surprised they didn't try that. But definitely Total Nonstop Deletion did not disappoint. Actually, it never happened. According to the reports, it was canceled like a month ago. So according to the reports, this never happened. So if you didn't watch it, it never happened. But I definitely enjoyed it though. I thought it was hilarious. And it was ballsy a little bit of TNA to take a chance like this, put an entire show in Matt Hardy's hands. I know he's over, but like it kind of shows like the amount of trust they have in Matt Hardy, but also it kind of just shows them taking another chance at something that could quite frankly not even have worked, not even have played out well on TV. And I think they did a good job with it, and for them to just be able to trust Matt Hardy, and whoever in creative that they trusted to kind of pull this off, I just think it was, you got to applaud TNA for that. I feel like, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was hilarious. It was hilarious, and but there was the fair share of wrestling within it as well, which I liked. But yeah, I'm excited. I wonder if they're gonna try this again, or try something like this again. I'm curious about that, because this might be show of the year. Not even gonna lie. Not even gonna lie. We had the King debut, and I ain't talking about Booker. We had Itchweeed debut. We had the world title match. We had knockouts action, and we had an Apocalypto. I mean, I'm just saying, like, what else do you want in a show? But anyway, be sure, if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button for us for more total nonstop deletion coverage. Even though this might be the only review we do, we might do a follow up on this with Rabbit, just to see what Rabbit did. Something that's kind of short. LOL. Something that's kind of short to see, what he kind of thought about it. But I definitely enjoyed it though. Overall, I definitely enjoyed it. If you haven't already, check out my article on dailyddt.com, my review of this. It was hard because they don't post a lot of videos anymore on WebClip, so it was hard for me to explain the Apocalypto via words, because I think with the final deletion, I was just like, just watch the video above, like pretty much when I had to do that. So it was kind of hard, but I made it through. But anyway, I do hope you guys enjoyed. I definitely enjoyed this show. Talk to us on Twitter about it. What you thought about it at ICW_podcast. But anyway, we'll see you guys later. We're gonna do the weekly WWE review tomorrow. Hopefully, if I can finally watch everything. My goodness, it's so much. It's so much to watch this week. I won't. But anyway, that's it. That was your total nonstop deletion review. Share this video with other people who like nonstop deletion, or TNA, or Broken Matt Hardy, or
boats, or fireworks.
Yeah. Or the Hurricane.
Or 3 count.
Or the man with 3 H's. But anyway, we will see you guys later. We do hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to hit that subscribe button for us. Bye. See ya. This was the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast, the only podcast that is always an instant classic, reviewing total nonstop deletion.